How to set the mood. Hello, everybody. I just want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in last week and listened to my video. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in this week to listen to part 2. If you didn't listen to the video last week, what I am doing is I am sharing my experience with weaning off of antidepressants. I have been on them for about a year, probably a little over a year at this point. I got diagnosed with postpartum depression after I had my daughter last year. And now that I'm in a place where I feel like I can get off of my antidepressants, I am wanting to share that. And so that is what I'm doing here. And I also wanted to say thank you to all the wonderful feedback and support that I've received from people. I've gotten such wonderful messages. I've heard a lot of people tell me that their experience with getting off of antidepressants and needing to go back on them, or people that have gotten off them and their experience staying off them. I've had other moms reach out and tell me that sharing my story has been inspiring. In sharing this, I'm hoping to help moms feel empowered to make a decision that works for them, whether that's staying on your antidepressants or getting off of them. I'm aiming to help take away some of the shame around what leads up to postpartum depression. And sharing this stuff is very uncomfortable. If you watch my last video, you'll see that I ugly cried. I've had to be very diligent in my journaling so that I can give you guys the most accurate story of what my symptoms are and what I'm experiencing in this process. During this last week, I had one friend of mine reach out and ask me how I knew I was ready. My answer to that, and I want to make this clear, I'm not a medical professional. This is just my opinion, my experience. But my answer to her was, I knew I was ready, because I had talked about it with my doctor. I wanted to get off in the winter, but he suggested I wait till the sun was out more consistently and I could be outside more. So I waited until spring. That's one factor, was the weather. Another factor was I am in a pretty good exercise routine, and that helps keep my mood elevated. I am eating healthier. I have eliminated a lot of processed foods out of my diet, and that helps with brain chemistry stuff. And I'm on the right supplements. I got onto the right form of vitamin D, which I did not know about. So look into that. I would say the last thing is I feel like I'm finally in a headspace where I can deal with hard things. And I will get into that in a little bit, what I mean by deal with hard things. Because when I was in the heat of postpartum depression, any slight little hiccup that came up would just throw me into a tailspin. I couldn't handle it. Strong emotion from my 4-year-old. I couldn't handle a lot. And I'm finally in a place where I've spent this last year developing the tools I need to handle life better, and not through therapy, through coaching. I'll get into that later too. That is how I knew and know that I am ready to get off antidepressants. With that, I'm going to go into my symptoms of this detox period. I've been very diligent at my note taking and journaling so that I can give you guys the most accurate information. On my day 8, which was Monday, I was really stressed out because I was trying to edit video number 1, and it was so hard. My program kept shutting down. I couldn't get it to work. It took me like 10 hours, and it's like a 20-minute video. It should not have taken that long. So I was really stressed out about that, and that kind of fueled a stress in me, but because of the work I've done, it didn't send me into a tailspin, which is another reason why I know I'm ready. Other major symptom is sleeplessness. I am so tired, but I can't sleep. Whole week, I've not gotten to sleep before 2 a.m. Last night I got to bed at 11. I did not fall asleep until 2 a.m. It's rough. I'm very tired. Another major symptom is haziness, like I guess you could say brain fog. And also this weird persistent, depending on the day, I've been experiencing a persistent numbness in my body, like numbness to sensation and lack of presence. It's been very odd. On detox day 9, it was a pretty weird day. I was feeling quite disconnected and muted. I kept finding myself in the mood to cry, even though it wasn't like a terrible day. It's just, you know, that persistent feeling of wanting to cry and you're like, what am I so sad about? I kept feeling that. I had been lacking the motivation to go to the gym. I've been going to the gym fairly consistently with my gym buddy, and I have had the hardest time with motivation this week. The hardest time. I went once, which is better than no times, and I've noticed that I am feeling less connected to my daughter, and I don't understand that. Maybe it's because of the numbness that I'm feeling in my body. Maybe it's because of the brain fog, but I feel like she's feeling it too because she's not seeking me out as frequently for comfort, and that makes me sad. But I'm gonna keep working on getting through that because I don't like that. She's been like my best buddy. Also, if you can hear my son in the background, he's just out in the hallway playing. On day 10, which was Wednesday, I actually had a much better day. I was much more present, mindful, and productive. On this day, one of the productive things I did is we have a little red wagon. I put my daughter in it and we went on a long walk together. It was sunny. We were barefoot. It felt really nice. And then after she was in her quiet time, I made bookends to put on our mantle. I went on a run, which felt really good. In the evening, I fulfilled one of my church duties, which is I work with the young women at church. And then I got to go rock climbing with my friend who has also experienced depression and weaning off of her antidepressants. So it is very nice to talk to other mothers and women who have experienced this because it helps normalize the experience for me. Detox day 11 was another pleasantly full day. I spent the morning playing with my kids at home, and then in the afternoon, I went on a walk with a friend in one of our beautiful canyons. However, despite that, I intermittently found myself just like staring off. And I found myself feeling a little less engaged with my surroundings. And as I was writing this journal entry, it was 2 a.m. and I wrote, it's 2 a.m. and I'm only now getting tired. It's been causing this fun little cycle of staying up super late, waking up early, and being tired all day, but not tired enough to like fall asleep at night. Another interesting thing is I have been having the biggest urges to online shop. I've been thinking a lot about that and wondering, why am I in the mood to online shop all the time? And I think to another one of my friends about it, and I think it has to do with needing that kind of dopamine hit, which is kind of hard to admit. I did eventually lose my battle just a couple days after I wrote this, lost my battle with the online shopping. And I did some online shopping, which I think it's not the worst. It's not great. On detox day 12, that was the weirdest day yet. And I'll just read to you because I just wrote it in a list. I wrote, I've had little to no appetite, nausea, very low energy, very tired. I took a 2-hour nap after Patrick got home from work. This felt blah and rather bleak. I was feeling foggy and fuzzy. I wasn't excited to go play soccer, which is bizarre because I look forward to soccer every single week. It's one of my favorite things in the whole world. And this week I wasn't excited at all. And that's just crazy. That's just bonkers. I was super duper scatterbrained and I had a headache. However, that could be equated to the tension in my neck and back from getting whiplash. I was in a car crash last October. I feel like my headache was a combination of this detox and also a combination of like the tension that I feel in my neck. And then I also had like this weird urge to cry on my way home from soccer, which just doesn't make sense. Usually on my way home from soccer, I'm just like all smiles, all happy smiles. On detox day 13, I wrote, bleh. And that was yesterday. I had a slightly disappointing experience on Saturday. I thought that I had a really good business opportunity and it fell through on my way to talk about it. And that was a huge bummer. And the one thing I wanted to talk about with that when I was talking about the ability to cope with hard times and hard situations, that's it with my journal, by the way. It's all the days. But what I wanted to talk about with that is I had this situation this week. I've had two situations this week. The one where I thought I had a good business opportunity for real estate because I'm doing real estate and coaching. With real estate, I thought I had this awesome opportunity. I had the appointment set up. I was going out to be there. And as soon as I got there, I was told that they didn't need my services anymore. And I have no hard feelings towards the person, just want to make that clear. But I was still so bummed, and I felt myself going into my similar thought processes of, why does this always happen to me? What is it about me that makes this my reality? Why do people feel like they can just bail on me? And I caught myself in that spiral. And this is where coaching comes in. I hired my first life coach last May. She's been helping me a lot with my mindset and my attitude towards life. I was in the spiral and I caught myself. And one of the things I've been working a lot with my coach on is my attitude and perspective. And I was able to start shifting that into, why is this happening for me? What can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? And it was such a productive thing to experience because I didn't fall into this me attitude with my super depressive time. When my daughter was having her health problems, I had a lot of, why does this happen to me? Why is my daughter suffering? All the things. And I'm just really grateful that I have been able to get those resources in my pocket through coaching to help me overcome hardships like that, disappointments like that. Because I'm also having another hardship with somebody that I've been a really close friend with who has more or less stopped talking to me, and I don't understand why, and it's been so hard, and it's been on my mind a lot, and I don't know how to salvage the friendship because she won't talk to me, so I can't salvage something when the other person isn't wanting to. I keep finding myself spiraling into like, why do I always make friends with people like this? Why can't I just have good friends? Why can't I be one of those people that just has friends where we're friends forever? I've been able to talk myself out of those spirals. Again, that is through having the faculties to do so from coaching, but also just the mindset work that I've been able to achieve during coaching, which I do believe that all the coaching that I've done this last year have made it possible for me to get to this point where I can get off of my antidepressants. So I just wanted to jump back to that. Some other things that help greatly are exercise, gardening. We did a lot of gardening yesterday, which helped a lot with my attitude, even though it was raining and drizzly and not like sunny gardening weather. But we did a lot of gardening yesterday, and the kids were out playing in the mud, and it was just a perfect day. Playing with my kids always helps because they are just such bright lights. It's really hard to be sad around them. And something else that helps is hugging my children. Getting hugs and kisses from them just immediately brighten my life. My kids are just magnets for joy. They're things that really help me. I just wanted to say thank you all again for tuning in and watching this. Like I said in the beginning, it's really hard for me to share this. It's a level of vulnerability on such a public level that I am simply not accustomed to. Thank you for everybody who has sent me such lovely messages. One of my friends at church today, I was holding my daughter in like our big church bag, so my hands are just like full, and he came up to me. He was like, "Can I just give you a hug?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so he just gave me a big giant hug. And please like this video, and please go subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified of when I make my next video. I hope this helped you. I really do. And I hope you have a lovely day. I look forward to sharing with you guys next week. In the meantime, follow along. And in the words of my daughter, Tetu.